Y'all need to put a warning label on these things.
They do. Alcohol. Drink aware. It's literally a legal requirement. Anyway, welcome to Brunch Book Club,
The podcast where brunch, books, and booze collide.
I'm Tara.
And I'm Tati.
And you
Can sit with us.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. It's an art.
Oh. Anyway.
Hey girl, hey.
Hey.
It's so nice to hear your voice.
Oh my gosh. Hey y'all. It's been a while.
It has been a while. We lied to you last time, but not knowingly.
Yeah.
We were like, see you next week.
Yeah, we lied to you about two things.
Yeah.
We lied to you about the book that we're going to be discussing today and when we would be releasing an episode. And both of those things have to do, or the fault of me having the flu. So it's nice to be here.
Yes.
It's nice to be recording again.
Yes.
It's nice to have a voice again.
Yeah, it's nice to see you again.
Yeah.
Alive.
It's been a while. Yes, she is back from the grave. It was really touch and go for a while.
No, it really was.
Yeah, I was thinking about what we would catch up on about my life for the last 2.5 weeks.
Death.
I was like, haven't done anything.
To be
Just
fair,
been ill.
I've been busy. But my close companion, Insomnia, has been with me every step of the way, which has been a joy.
I kind of love that. You've been out in the streets living life, but at home in the sheets you can't sleep. Whereas I have had no life in the streets and all of my life has been in the sheets. Some of the best sleep of my life has been...
Just bragging.
But this is also the thing, is like I am sleeping because my body is fighting for its life, so it's not like rejuvenating.
Yeah, but
it's just constant.
Mine is trying to kill my life.
Yeah.
My brain is like, let's sabotage. Let's
It's like,
think
you
about...
know what's not fun?
What?
Sleep. Let's not do that. That's your brain to you.
Oh,
yeah, no,
I was
not
like,
me
no,
to you.
sleep is... Did you see the worry? I was like...
Yeah,
no,
you're
sleep
like,
is
why are you
really
saying
fun.
this? No.
Yeah, I know, my brain is like, let's think about everything
Do
you
know
could
how,
have possibly have done wrong.
Do you know how I told you a while back when we... on one of our episodes when we were talking about insomnia?
And your biggest fear.
Yeah, how like once a month it takes me like an extra 15 minutes to sleep. That happened a couple nights ago and I was like, it's starting!
Yeah.
When
that happens, just text me. I'm like...
It's not.
I know
like,
how to
ground
ball, you know,
yourself.
Aristotle.
Oh. It's also just like the voice that she uses on
She
some
goes
of the songs.
very American.
It's too much.
She's a bit
but it's
Cali
like
girl with it.
talky, singy.
Yeah. Rap
Like
talk.
speak singy. Yeah. Speak singy? Speak singing.
That is the correct
Like it's not
term.
singing opera. It's like it sounds like karaoke. That's the thing that I don't like about it.
But-
it sounds like the girlies at karaoke.
But
And
then
I'm like,
she's giving the girlies what they want, because then you're like, I sound just like Taylor.
oh, I don't know. It's just not for me. I appreciate it, but it's not for me. Anyway, again, this is not the section
It's
that we're
fine.
supposed
Let's
to be
just make
talking
this
about
tea time with Taylor. We can catch up later.
Tea time with
With
Taylor.
Taylor. I do feel like since she's ditched the blokes on the bench, aka the British and Scottish, she's
So
gone
long London wrecked me.
Yeah.
Absolutely wrecked me.
Also, is it because she's a North London girly as well, like you?
What do you mean? Is that why it wrecked me?
Maybe, because she was like,
I identify. Yeah, she was left at the house by the heath.
Yeah, you're like, same.
Like, I know where that is. Oh my god.
Taylor!
Apparently, the Black Dog is like an actual pub in like Vauxhall or something.
It is, and they've now got a TikTok, they've now got merch, they are
Really?
fucking busy.
They must be so busy.
They are booked.
But
and
you know,
busy.
like, when she comes to London in the summer for the Eras concert, that pub is going to be overflowing.
But the thing is,
people.
though, she's performing at Wembley, so anybody who's coming to
location
London, just know Vauxhall is not near Wembley.
Yeah.
Also, if we're getting into this now, let's just do our drinks, because we need to talk Taylor with a beverage.
Okay.
It's the Tortured Poet Society. No, department.
Department.
And to be fair, this is on brand. Both the drinks, I think.
Do we want to introduce the drinks?
Yeah, you tell me. What have I got?
Okay, so we're... I don't know what you have.
You bought it for me.
Yeah, where are the cans?
They're there.
Okay. Pause.
Back to what we were drinking. What am I drinking today?
Right. You are drinking... Oh, it's French.
France.
Boulevardier.
A boulevard. What?
Boulevardier.
Yeah.
A boulevard. It is bourbon whiskey, Italian bitter aperitif, sweet vermouth, and orange zest.
Oh, it smells sexy.
And it is made by White Box Cocktails.
No way!
They come in the cutest little cans.
I got you a white box.
And a little drink.
Do you want to know what yours is?
Oh, yeah, tell me.
You're having a freezer martini. So I popped this into the freezer. It's also by White Box.
Ooh.
So Dinky Cutie can. Their branding's 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
But I had to pop it in the freezer. That's what they said. So it says, freeze me 4 to 24 hours. It's got porter's gin, dry vermouth, and lemon zest.
Oh, yeah.
So I know it's not your vodka one, but you love a gin.
Yeah.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. I can't drink it.
Oh,
that was a lovely sound.
Reverb.
I'm gonna put it on.
Oh, my word.
That is very nice, but very strong. Wow, you don't skimp out on the alcohol there. Oh, you okay?
It's so strong.
Is it?
It's so strong.
Too strong?
No, but it's gonna burn all of the hair off of my body.
Well, that's good, because waxing is expensive.
Yeah. Thanks.
Speaking
Thanks,
of...
White Box.
Yeah. Shout out.
Speaking of waxing.
I'm getting waxed tomorrow.
Oh.
Can't wait. I'm going to be like a sexy plucked chicken. Yeah.
So anyway, Taylor Swift.
Speaking from one sexy chicken to another.
To another, yeah.
Taylor.
Aristotle.
She knows him. 31 songs. You want to hear something that's going to rock your world? And by the time this comes out, who knows what's going to happen? It might be a 3-part album.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Are the girlies saying this on TikTok?
Yeah, I'm in a deep rabbit hole.
Okay.
And she loves the little clue. So I'm like, what does it mean?
Yeah, her little Easter egg.
What does it mean?
What does it mean?
And then I'm like, oh, this might be an Easter egg. I don't try and work it out. I just go to TikTok and then they tell me.
Okay.
Taylor Nation posted like a reel. No.
A reel?
A carousel.
Oh.
Of images. 10 images.
On Instagram?
Yes.
Okay, I don't follow this account.
Alternates between like posts of general things. There's some from like the 1989 era. There are some from the current era. There are also interspersed very yellow images. There's also a scene from the Bejeweled video where she's clicking the number 3. Are you going to look at it now?
Yeah.
And at the end there's a yellow vault, and then everything, because there was loads of stuff happening where there was a glitch on her website that was intentional, that said 321, and everyone's interpreting it. And then in some of the scenes things are missing, and people are basically theorizing that there's a third album or a third anthology, if you will, that's going to come out 3rd of May. So watch this space.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, the last image is a vault.
Of a vault. Yeah.
Ooh.
Very exciting.
If there is another one...
I mean, 31 is a lot.
What is she going to sing about?
Matty Healy, apparently.
Man, Ratty Healy.
Ratty Healy.
That's the funniest roast name I have ever heard in my entire life.
He is quite ratty.
Do you know the story about him inspiring that, like, Pixar film about rats and sewers?
Oh my god, Ratatouille.
No, it's not Ratatouille. Oh, hold on.
Flushed Away.
Flushed Away, yeah. That he was the, like, visual inspiration for the main character.
I did hear that.
That is so funny.
I think it is alleged. I don't think it's confirmed?
No, I think it is, like...
Shut up!
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that he has confirmed
I haven't seen
this
it,
might be
pal.
misinformation.
Oh, well,
But,
you know.
yeah.
Coming from a news station like ours, reputable.
You heard it here first.
You are welcome. But
that it was 31 songs about one man.
Oh,
is a lot.
no, it's a mixture.
Well,
Is Joe as well?
yeah, he's got 2 songs.
Bless him.
I can't decide if it's, like, better or worse.
What, that?
That he's only got, like, 2 songs.
And also in...
Okay, let's say 5. I don't know how many songs.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He does have quite a few albums, though.
So I think that's the thing, is, like, did she not write more songs about him for this series of albums because there's already so much about him in the discography? Or...
I think...
Did she just not have anything to say about...
I think she was, from the sounds of it, she ended a 10-year situationship with somebody who she thought, oh, it's just timing.
And it's not timing.
I was like, what are you looking at?
Yeah.
What were you looking at?
The computer.
Oh my
It did
God.
something weird.
No, because there's been rumours of mice. Not in this flat, thank fuck. But I live in a big building.
It's Brady Healy.
Ah, here he is!
Come to
join.
And this week's special guest is us. Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
It's just me and you. I forgot my train of thought. Oh, yeah, no, 10-year situationship. And she took it really well, evidently. And I think that was more... Because also there's rumours that Fortnite was going to be a duet with Matty Healy.
The girls on TikTok
Oh,
are saying
we
a
are.
lot.
I...
What's the source of information here, ladies? What's going on? Who are
Them.
your sources? Something that's been really cool that I've been seeing on Instagram is people saying how the songs have sisters
Yeah.
with previous releases.
Folklore and... Yeah, there's
I think
the
that's
So
pretty
Long
cool.
London.
Yeah.
At the beginning, people are saying also it sounds like wedding bells at the beginning.
It's really sad. That song is beautiful.
It devastated
heartbreaking.
me sad.
I think So Long London, Down Bad. Actually,
Oh, Down Bad
there's
is-
31 songs. I can't remember the names of all
Down
of them.
bad crying at the gym. I love that she drops in though. I'm still going to the gym.
Yeah.
Good for you.
It's like I'm lying on the floor, but I'm here
Yeah.
in
you're
my
welcome.
leggings. LOML was also pretty good.
Love of my life.
Yeah, and how
Or
she turns
Loss
it
of
to
My
Loss
Life.
of My Life.
Ugh.
Yeah. The Black Dog is also really good. Um,
The Alchemy.
yeah.
Touchdown. Da-da-da. Again, she goes very American. Does she make you patriotic?
Actually, I also really liked Fortnite.
I love Fortnite.
It doesn't
It's an earworm.
feature Post Malone very
No,
much.
he's
It's a
backing
little
vocals.
bit like, do you remember on the original release of Midnights how she had
Lana
snow
Del
on the
Rey.
beach with Lana, and everyone was like, "Where's Lana?"
Yeah.
Like, you just sprinkled her essence, just did a little twist of an orange peel into the mimosa.
Yeah.
Like, just barely there.
It did make me think though, is she just doing like care in the community? Because if you feature on a Taylor Swift song, you're never going to worry about money ever again.
Yeah, I just... Yeah, she's just... I mean, she had a lot to say, and she said it all. I will say, she said a lot. And, like, a lot of stuff that I would never say about
She does that a lot though.
a man.
No,
But she did it in, like, 31 freaking songs, where I'm like, damn, you really, like, bared your soul.
She's a
Like, the
tortured
cringiest-
poet, Tatty.
Which is like, you could just go to therapy. I'm sure she does. Maybe go to a new therapist.
I don't know if she does go to therapy. I think she's like
It must be... I was thinking about this a couple of days ago. It must be such a stressful part about being in the public eye. Because everybody wants to know the intimate details of your life and whether you're going through a crisis and what your crisis is about. So you would really have to trust the person that you're meeting with.
Well, legalities.
Yeah.
And NDAs, and also it
But
would
then
be a
even, like-
darkly breach.
Even if they don't tell what you said, let's say, like, they have an assistant or something,
Yeah.
and, like, you're on the books that you have gone to a session there, and even if no one knows what you talked about, they still know.
She's at therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, like, it's still
To
a
be fair,
very
everybody would be like,
stigmatized
"Thank
thing.
God
Yeah.
she's at
Be like,
therapy."
well, you should go more often. You were only booked in for one session this month. Maybe hike that up to 28 sessions.
Yeah, please.
How often are you in the gym? Go to therapy.
Yeah.
more.
Well, you're on the floor. It's probably better.
Yeah.
It's in a medicated situation.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, overall thoughts? Final thoughts?
I think it was fine. I have albums by Taylor Swift that I revisit a lot, like Red and Speak Now, 1989, Folklore. Like, I would say those 4 albums I will listen through on road trips or, like, while I'm traveling, like, top to bottom, and I really enjoy them every time. I don't know that this is one that I'm going to be like, you know what I'm really in the mood for?
31 songs
The
of sadness.
anthology.
Yeah.
And potentially the trilogy. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know that that's something that
I mean, that's a road trip.
Yeah. That would be, like, a world trip around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I have a handful of songs that I really like.
Fair.
What about you?
I did enjoy it. I really like the aesthetic.
Mm.
The dark academia.
I hope she releases more music videos.
Same. And they're probably all going to be in black and white.
Yeah.
And I want more Easter eggs of, like, her ripping into men. That would be nice. But yeah, enjoyed it. I don't know if I'd listen to the full body of work. I've been trying to, but I'm definitely leaning more towards the first album. How's that martini?
You know when you have wasabi and you can, like, feel it, like, smoke through your nose? That just happened.
You like him strong. It's okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
No, it's good. Sorry, the situation is fine. The drink is good. The album was also fine.
Yeah, there are some songs I really like, and I will listen to them. Like Fortnite has wiggled its way into my brain. You know I can do it with a broken heart. Yeah. Because it is my anthem. Side-eye.
So, what are we reading this week?
Not what we said we would.
Not what we said.
Sorry, guys.
Like we said at the beginning, we lied to you twice.
Yeah. We won't make it thrice, but yes. But you did know this was the Brunch Book Club Book of the Month.
Yeah, it was coming.
So that is our book that we are discussing today, which is Bright Young Women by Jessica Knoll, who you may be familiar with because she wrote
Luckiest Girl Alive. Should I tell you a little bit?
Yeah.
I love that I asked you, what are we reading? And I'm like, let me tell you about what,
I was like, do you want to hear anything about the author? You're like, no, it's my turn.
Yeah, no. So Bright Young
you
Women.
want to tell me about the book that we've both read. I just realised. But yes, please do.
Just in case you don't remember.
For the listener.
Yeah, you've been to brunch to talk about it. You've been to a cocktail hour to talk about it. And now I'm going to tell you about it.
Thank you. I'm going to respond like I haven't read it.
Okay. So Bright Young Women is a story about 2 women in particular, Pamela Shoemaker and Tina Cannon, who find each other following a series of tragic events brought on by an average, basic man.
Basic biatch.
So the story starts for Pamela in January 1978 when a serial killer descends on her sorority house at Florida State University's campus in Tallahassee, Florida, where 2 of her friends are murdered and 2 of her sorority sisters are murdered and 2 others are disfigured and maimed by said serial killer.
I'm picking up hints of a perpetrator.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Who is a basic fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Who is a fugly slut, and you should not trust her.
I absolutely do not trust her. If she ever came up to you, do not trust her.
No.
So this event brings Pamela and Tina together because Tina is convinced that the person who attacked Pamela's sorority is the same person that killed her friend. 4 years later. Yeah, friend. 4 years later. Her lady friend named Ruth. I'll let you read through the lines, the subtext.
Her roommate.
Her special friend. Well, yeah, her housemate. So Bright Young Women takes us on a journey through the 1970s, and it dips into other decades, including the 2010s, and it brings to light all of the ways that we excuse bad behavior, vilify totally benign behavior, and give men way too much credit for what is really the result of luck and bad forensic technology. This story explores how sisterhood can be found even in the darkest of times, and how we should all work to dismantle the myths surrounding average men.
Oh, if I had a pew pew.
Yeah, that's my synopsis and my review.
Yeah.
Look for it on brunchbookclub.com.
Yeah, because we're going to post a little review. That may just become, here's my soapbox on why men ain't shit.
Honestly.
Across the board. Anyway, we can get into it in a minute. Do you want to hear a little bit about our author?
Tell me.
Well, she doesn't give much away. I'll be honest. There's not much I could find on Tinterweb other than she's a best-selling author. Best-selling author of Luckiest Girl Alive, as we said, which is dark and twisty, and then made even darker when you find out it's inspired by true events, because our girl was gang raped and bullied as a teenager. So she's always had a bit of an affinity and kind of knows the darkness of men and the world. And I think that is reflected in her work quite significantly. But she can also have like this phenomenal insight to what it's like to be a survivor and to have that experience trivialized by men and basic men alike, which I think comes across. I haven't read Luckiest Girl Alive, but Bright Young Women, it's very evident, and I live for it.
Not that you know that, because you haven't read it.
Haven't read it, no, but I'd love to know more. She grew up in Philadelphia. She went to university in New York, and she's a prolific writer, actually, and she's written for Elle magazine, Cosmo, and Vogue, amongst others. She now lives in LA. That might have been a movie move, because she's like, I want to go where the people are.
Yeah, she did a little transcontinental
She's a West Coast girlie now.
Yeah.
So she lives in LA with her husband. She's had a baby. And her bulldog.
Oh, cute.
And then Bright Young Women is her third novel. And if rumours are true, she's working on her next.
Do we think that Reese is going to make?
1000%.
Yeah, okay.
You can already see it on the cover of how the movie's going to look.
Beautiful.
Yeah. But you can see how the movie poster's going to be. You can see all of it.
Okay, so tell me, initial thoughts.
Okay, initial immediate thoughts upon finishing.
Very specific.
It has to be. And this was actually something that came across in all of the discussions I've had. Especially in the book club discussion. So not cocktail hour, but our discussion before brunch. Get your tickets. It was... Immediately I was like, fuck, that was a good book. And I was like, 5 stars. And then as time went by, it didn't sit with me in the same way. Like I wasn't like, oh, what a book, what a book, what a book. I kind of went, oh, it was a good book, but will I ever read it again? No, probably not. So I dropped it down to a 4, which is still a very good rating. But immediate thoughts, loved it, thought it was great. That still stands. It's just not as impactful as it initially was when I, finished the final page and closed the book. But in general, I loved her writing style, even though it was a bit confusing at times. It's flipping
between the characters.
Not only the characters, but you're flipping between the characters then and now.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, Pamela is now how old? Where are we? What are we doing?
Yeah.
That was a little bit tricky, but generally, very good. And you?
I loved it.
You finished it not that long ago, though, right?
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know how you feel in a couple of weeks, if you still are like, yes.
Yeah, I gave it a 4.8, so I rounded up to 5.
Fair.
Yeah. 4.8 is also such a specific rating. Has been the feedback that I've gotten from some of the girlies at cocktails a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Well,
when it comes out, we'll be...
It was a couple days ago from when you're listening to this, so hee. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really liked her writing style, because I found I felt very immersed in the world that she was creating. And, like, her descriptions of the different scenes, whether it was at the lake with Ruth towards the end of the book, or, like, walking through the sorority house. And, like, I felt very immersed in the world that Jessica was creating. I also thought it was really interesting. So this is now a spoiler, is the book is based on the crimes of Ted Bundy. And Ted Bundy is the serial killer who murders some of Pamela's sorority sisters and many other women across the United States. And I just thought it was a really interesting take on a story that we have heard so many times from one perspective. And Jessica was able to create this really, like, well thought out and well developed view of a completely different side of the story, focusing on the victims, the survivors, and their families, and the impact that Ted Bundy had.
Shall we make an agreement to only refer to him as the defendant?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So this is also... Should we talk about who's who?
Yeah, I think that's really helpful.
Okay, let's do that.
I hope we've covered everybody, because there are quite a few characters.
There's a lot.
There's a lot, but all of them have their place.
Yeah.
But some of them aren't as prominent, so it's tricky. So, probably in order of preference.
Yes.
Which was subconsciously done when I wrote them down, but I think, okay. We've got Pamela, who is, I would say, our protagonist.
Yeah.
She's the survivor and witness of the defendant.
Yeah, the key witness in the trial.
And also bad bitch.
Yeah.
Definitely a Virgo. She's very headstrong. She's very organised. She likes to do things by the book. She's incredibly smart as well.
Yeah, she's the president of the sorority.
Yep.
She's, like, very much the person, even immediately after the defendant attacks, she thinks about, okay, where are we sleeping tonight? How do I make the house a safe and comfortable place for people to come back to? I need to go and get new beds and think about cleaning and make muffins and reach out to donors and all of this sort of stuff. And she's, like, she's very on it. Yeah. And is always thinking several steps ahead about what else she needs to do.
Wildly considerate. And I think that's actually what saves her life.
For sure.
Because she is so considerate. She was woken and was like, hold on a minute, why is this not done? Why is the light on? Or why is this down?
Yeah.
And that ultimately saves her life. And she's inspired by a real person. And that real person inspired the whole book, really, is because the woman who did survive and who Palmer is based on wrote a piece for a newspaper and was interviewed about how trash the defendant is and what happened to her, and that's inspired this book. Then we have Denise, who is Pamela's close friend and her sorority sister, who is a victim and unfortunately dies and is brutalized.
Yeah.
And she's the one that, if you are familiar with true crime, so it's these little elements that really made me think, oh, I do know who this cretin is the hairspray can. And then you have Ruth, who is another victim, but unfortunately whose body has not been found, I think, to this day. And then we have Tina, who is Ruth's special friend. They're lesbians, guys. Kelsprys,
but it is the 70s, so nobody talks about it.
And she is ostracized from her mother for her relationship, and with devastating effects, actually, in the end. Then you have Carl, piece of shit, Carl, who is a journalist who exploits the story and his relationship and proximity to some of the survivors. Brian,
he was there.
Ain't shit.
Yeah.
Who is...
He's Pamela's, like, very average boyfriend.
No, he is the epitome of, is he attractive or is he just tall?
Yeah, he's a crutch.
He's just tall.
He is, like, the last ornament that you put on the tree, because there's just, like, a little bit of a missing space, so you're like, something can go there. It doesn't need it, but it's like, we've got one more ornament, we might as well put it
basic.
Up. Yeah.
It's just a snow globe.
Yeah.
Of dumb. And there are nothing in that brain except floating pieces of bullshit. Anyway, I can't remember, though, Who was Denise's boyfriend? Who the police... Roger.
Yeah, so he is high-key terrifying.
High-key terrifying,
Yeah.
but also, unfortunately, who the police zoned in on and made them...
Because he's terrifying.
Terrifying, but blinkered them to the defendant. Then you have Frances, who is a therapist and also Tina's rumoured ex-girlfriend.
I think friend. But also Frances kills Tina's husband. She poisons him.
Oh yeah, she does.
Which is just like dropped into the story. And then
they're
it's
like, moving on.
Yeah. He died. Next. I'm like, what?
Then you have Rebecca.
Oh. Yeah, so that is Ruth's, she is Ruth's, sanctimonious sister-in-law.
Who they were exploring,
up.
basically, and experimenting in their youth. And then she demonized Ruth and made it like, ew.
Yeah.
But I'm not a lesbian.
I think it was on one occasion where Ruth's father found them.
Yeah.
And Ruth was then sent away to like a gay conversion camp, basically. Yes. Or it was like an institution.
The 60s.
Yeah. And then Rebecca, no one ever said anything about her involvement, her intimate involvement in that situation.
Active participant.
Yeah. And she goes on to marry Ruth's brother.
Love that.
I
the brother definitely knew as well.
Sorry?
The brother definitely knew as well.
Do you think so?
Oh, 100%.
They never tell him, though.
I don't think you need to. And then you have the defendant. Last and certainly least.
Yeah, he was there. And he really shouldn't have been.
No. A plague on both your houses. Oh, I do love, though. So this is one thing. This wasn't my initial thoughts on ending. This was just my thoughts throughout the book. I fucking love how the author, through her characters, but also it's very clear, her as a person and as a writer, fucking rips into the defendant.
Yeah.
She is just, every word is dripping with disdain and just, you are nothing. And there are so many scenes that come out that I'm like, yes! Suck a dick! Yeah. When the main one, and we talked about this last night, was at the cocktail hour, was when poor Pamela, I say poor Pamela just because I would fucking hate to ever be in this situation, has to go to court and give her testimony. But because the defendant chooses to act in his defense, he gets to question her. So, dickhead. My favorite bit, though, I mean, there's many, but the only thing I can really think of at the moment is where, God forbid, anyone has to do this. I hope the law has changed, but she has to go in and give her testimony as a witness, essentially star a witness. And because he decided to act in his own defense and be his own counsel, he gets to ask her questions and cross-examine her.
Which, like, the whole time you're like,
pardon?
Why?
Yeah.
Why is that allowed?
Why? And we get her internal monologue. And my favourite thing is when she says, and for those with the physical copy of the book, it's on page 298. Colombia, Colombia, Colombia. Ask me again about my occupation, you verifiable loser. And then she goes on to call him a barnyard animal. And I'm like, yeah, snaps to you, queen. Because
she was having an absolute...
Oh, she was having the fucking best time of her life. Because she's just like, you're a dumb bitch. You are not smart. You are not clever. And also, when you actually break it down, and props to Jessica for this, is she really hammers home how underqualified he is. And how everything is grandiose and none of it is true. Like, he couldn't even get through law school at a very mediocre, sorry if you went there, university.
I mean, I do think there's so much to be said about, like, the era of serial killers. I feel like the 70s and the 80s was, like, everyone was a frickin' serial killer in the 70s and 80s.
At the time that this book is set, there were 3 active known serial killers in that area.
Which I think is just, like, that is male privilege, luck, and...
white privilege.
Bad forensics.
Oh, just bad policing. It's male arrogance as well.
Bad policing is actually a huge part of it. Like, I do think we don't hear about serial killers very often anymore because we have the technology now for testing and, like, finding people before they're able to go and commit so many atrocities like serial killers of the 70s and 80s. But so much of, like, what Jessica gets across in this book is, like, had it been a time where, like, fingerprinting and blood testing and all of these different things existed and were reliable, and, like, he would not have gotten as lucky. Like, he was just lucky and
also
fine.
White and brunette. That was it. And you also know, this is such a flippant comment, but here we are. He would have been on a dating app. He is definitely 5'10" at best, but be like 6 foot.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Oh, he would say, like, 6'4".
And then you'd be like, you're quite short. He'd be like, oh!
So, you mentioned at the beginning that you picked up on little cues and notes based off of the details of location and the victims. It sounds like you might know a little bit about true crime. What is your... what's your vibe when it comes to true crime?
I'm a millennial woman. So, like most millennial women, I love
trauma.
I love trauma. I go to sleep listening about murder. Murder. There's been a murder. Yes, I really like true crime podcasts, and this book definitely, though, made me reevaluate that relationship. And I've been thinking about it for a while of, like, okay, why am I so interested in this? What is it about it? And I don't know if it's a case of wanting to be shocked, because I fucking hate scary films. I don't like, you know, some people like that jump scare or like going on roller coasters and all that. That's not my vibe.
Man, I love amusement parks and roller coasters.
I will hold your bag and coat.
So fun.
You might see me on a log flume.
What?
They're like the water rapids.
Oh, where you just go, phew.
Yep, that's me down.
Flume.
Yeah, flume down.
Okay.
That's it. So that's not, like, it's not,
It's not the vibe.
I don't think I'm doing it for shock value. I think I find the psychology behind it really interesting. But why are we doing that for men? And yeah, I'm kind of starting to rethink that. I really like podcasts that really emphasize, well, have a lot of emphasis on the victims as opposed to the perpetrators. And I really liked that this person in question wasn't named, and I think I, moving forward, would love that. I know it's very difficult to market something if you don't do the name, and it's always the perpetrator whose name is probably more prominently known. But I do love true crime. I have lots of recommendations. Shout out to Morbid. One of the best in the game. Really like Case File, and I really like Case File because they just deliver the facts. They don't, like, the narrator doesn't give it opinions, just delivers the facts of the case. You can tell, though, when they do have an opinion, but it's not overt. You only know through listening for quite a long time. And yeah, I really enjoy it, and I find reading about psychology and the mental illnesses around it in book form as well really fascinating. But I'm very familiar with the defendant. Not only because of podcasts, but because of the fucking sensationalized content around him.
The it girl of the 70s serial killers.
And it's embarrassing, really.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of ties into the role the media play with this kind of shit.
Yeah.
The way that the police kind of absolve themselves of shitty work and incompetence by framing him as this genius. And he's not. Yeah. He's just an ordinary...
There's no way we could have known.
Of course you could have.
Yeah.
You dumb pricks.
It's like she literally told you what he looked like.
Yeah. And also, if you fucking
And that he wasn't the guy that you were looking for.
But if you spoke to other departments, that's so prominent through listening to true crime and reading about other cases, 9 times out of 10, the problem is these people, well, fucking nasty human beings, were going around into different jurisdictions and the police departments weren't talking to each other. So they were all looking for this elusive criminal, thinking it's multiple people and it's the same guy, because they were so, men, especially in the 70s, were so precious and arrogant and insecure that they couldn't admit, oh, maybe we got this wrong, how can you help us?
Yeah.
It's disgraceful.
Although I do think there's probably, to give the men in this the police departments a single ounce of credit, it takes a lot of frickin' work and a lot of commitment to be like, yeah, I'm gonna go from Washington to Colorado to Utah, get arrested, escape, go to Florida, go here, go there, and like, it makes sense that these police departments, especially at that time, were just focused on like what is happening in my immediate vicinity, especially like town sheriffs that get voted in. Like, you are incentivized to focus on your local community, not what's in the best interest of like people in a state who don't even know who you are. And because of the amount of work and dedication that it takes to decide to cross city lines and set yourself up and create this whole artificial persona to like enable this activity on the part of the defendant, I feel like it takes enough work that it's also partially human nature to be like, no, it can't be the same guy. Like, how on earth would someone, unless they were a genius, be able to do this so many times? And the answer is because it's the 70s and because he's a man. Like,
yeah. But it's interesting because Pamela does say that it's a result of, I'm paraphrasing, but a series of national ineptitudes towards crimes against women, and that law enforcement would rather we remember a dull man as brilliant than take a good hard look at the role that they played in the deaths of all these women.
Which, like, I think is especially true. I'm pretty sure it was in Utah where he escaped, like, twice.
Twice, yeah.
Like, I feel like that quote targeted at that police department hits so well because you are responsible for this. And, like, even when Utah is later informed that Florida has found the defendant, they are just trying to get him back. And, like, trying to get him extradited back to Utah so that they can try him and they can be the ones to put him away. Like, girlfriend,
you lost him twice.
You've tried twice and you failed twice.
Yeah.
And it is because, like, I think it was in Utah, his second escape, where part of it was because he was defending himself. So they, like, let him have an office space that had a window. Yeah. And he, like, had no supervision.
Yeah. Because men are fucking stupid. And there was an interesting, maybe it was morbid, but when they were covering these cases, there's a bit where he comes out, the defendant comes out, and is talking to the media, and he's doing all of his charm, but somebody says something about his mother, and there's a shift in his eyes, and you can see it, and you can see just a slight hint of who he really is, and who these women, these bright young women who he snatched, saw before they died.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important, is because men, and that taps into as well, you know, Jessica makes a real point of referring and quoting all of these men, or these male characters in the book, who say to Pamela, oh, just get me in a room with him.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's so trivializing and flippant and so sanctimonious of them to think, oh, I'd go at him. And it's like, he could probably fucking kill you too, you dumb bitch.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
I think the other part of that, too, with, like, the quotes that we see from random men in the story of saying, like, put me in a room with him for 5 minutes and I'll kill him and the whole thing would be over, is Pamela makes a comment that it just really solidified in her mind that, like, he is average and basic and ordinary, and that this could have been any man and could be any man. And because they all immediately lead with such violent commentary, and, like, even if it's violent commentary targeting a, like, piece of shit human being, it is still quite shocking and violent to say that about somebody. And I think that is a really, like, poignant moment in the story of getting across that, like, he was not special.
No.
And it could have been anybody, including, I think it was, like, the cab driver that she and Brian, fucking loser Brian, were in the car with.
TM. Loser Brian.
I can feel my voice going. I'm getting incensed.
Yeah. But I think it's a really good point to have made by the author and Pamela, and it probably echoes sentiments that the survivors have said.
Yeah.
But I think it echoes what women across the globe say, is it could be any one of you. And, you know, to be topical, there's at the moment this thing going around of, would you rather be in a woods with a bear or with a man? And don't worry, it'll be on Instagram in 2 weeks. But
can't wait.
There's this thing where women are being asked, would you rather be in a wood with a man or a bear? And every woman's like, a bear. And men are like, I just don't get it. And then what's coming across now, well, the TikToks I'm coming across now, are women asking men with children, hey, person, man, would you rather your daughter be in the woods with a man or a bear? And they're like, ugh, who is the man?
Yeah.
And the woman is just like, no, it's just a man. Like, what kind of bear? Like, it's just a bear, my guy. And they're like,
the type of bear matters.
And they're like, I don't know. And usually, if the man is struggling to make a decision, the woman will then counter with, okay, who would you rather your daughter be in the woods with, a woman or a bear? Immediately, woman. Yeah. And then they're like, huh. And it makes them rethink it.
Interesting.
But then when they say, one TikTok in particular, this woman said to the man she was asking, you know that fear that you felt when you were weighing up those choices? That's how women feel all the time. And he was like, what? He said, you know that fear where you thought about your daughter being in the woods alone with a man, any man? That fear you feel is how we feel all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like,
the world is the woods.
And we would
#,
all,
the world is the woods.
We would all rather the bear.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the hashtag not all men bullshit is like, okay, not all snakes are venomous. Like that's that's a kind of comparison that they make. Or, hey, this bag of jelly beans. It's just a bag of jelly beans. I mean, one of them could kill you, but go ahead, take one. And even still, you can do all of these metaphors, and men are like, I just don't get it, because, like, I'm not raping women. Okay, you want a gold star? Like, but it is. It's not. You don't look at somebody and go, that there is a serial killer. They all look fucking normal.
Yeah.
Because they are. They all start as ordinary men, and all ordinary men have the audacity. And then that gets thwarted, and then it gets enabled. Because also, even up until talking about the court, where the thing that really incensed, I think, Jessica, that made her inspired to write this, is the judge being like, bright young man, and I wish to have seen you in the court someday, partner, and all of this. He's still being enabled. His mediocrity is still being celebrated.
I think this is one of the really interesting parts of, like, how the media and the newspapers played a role in all of this. And all of the men in the police departments and the courtrooms, like, were absolutely complicit or active participants in all of this. Is the way that the defendant was described as this bright young man who had so much potential, or this really attractive genius who was so handsome in his cream suit and so relaxed and all of this sort of stuff. And I mean, Jessica calls the novel Bright Young Women because that is who these women were and who they could have been had their lives not been snatched away from them. I found this really interesting throughout the book, of when immediately after the attack on the sorority house, the police are talking about Denise and how, like, oh, well, she went around with lots of guys. And, like, can you tell us more about her involvement with Roger?
Ugh.
And, like, Pamela, because she's an organized queen, reaches out to one of the state funds to try and get, like, essentially, like, emergency money and, like, emergency relief to help her fund all of the changes and, like, pay for all of the changes that have to happen, like replacing the beds, installing new locks, all of this sort of stuff on the house. And the state fund rejects her application on the basis that there was, like, an intimate involvement between one of the victims and the alleged perpetrator, which at the time was believed to be Roger, because the police refused to come to terms with the fact that they were wrong. And I think that is, like, an interesting juxtaposition in how women were described at this time, and even now. But you really see it in this book of no one is talking about how brilliant these women are, except for the women around them. And then everyone at the national media level is talking about how brilliant this average man is, when he is, like,
basic.
Nothing.
Yeah. So
I think this was one of the things that we talked about at the cocktail hour, is, like, the lack of morality with the media and the newspapers. And, like, Carl is the perfect embodiment of this. Carl is the journalist who takes advantage of his relationship. Yeah. Trash can raccoon. Dumpster. He takes advantage of his relationship and his closeness with Pamela and Tina to basically get all of the dirt and find out all of the connections, and then he screws them over because he wants a pay rise and to become a famous true crime author. So he is not a good person, I would say. And I think this is, like, a reflection, all of the things that we've been talking about around how the defendant was described, how the women were described, and then the role of media and newspapers in that process. And I think a lot of that is because information was so centrally located in the hands of a few.
Yeah.
Where, like, now there's so much decentralization of information, where social media platforms have become a huge microphone for people to share their opinion, share their perspective, share on the ground footage of what is happening. Whereas at the time, especially in the 70s and 80s, where media was a much smaller industry, it meant that a lot of the ways that people got information about this trial and all of the surrounding facts was because of newspapers and because of the radio stations that were covering it. And if they're all saying, he's a bright young man, he had a promising future, he's super hot.
He's so hot.
Yeah, he rocks a turtleneck.
Brother.
Of course, yeah. Of course, this is what we get, right? Because no one's saying it about the women. So there's a reason why we know the name of the defendant and we don't know the names of the victims, of the survivors, because their stories were not the central focus, and their stories weren't the ones that we were telling about what a promising and bright future they had.
That was snatched. Should we go to the spice bowl?
Yeah.
Let's mix it up. So, if you could change one thing about the book, what would it be? You're like, girly, it was a 4.8. What is there to change?
Yeah, I don't know that I would change anything. Actually, the one thing that I would change is Pamela and her mother's relationship.
Ooh.
I just found it, like,
I want to know what happened in the 4 days.
Weird.
Are you fucking joking? You're going to tell me that Pamela went missing for 4 fucking days?
It's been 4 days and she's walking around the Everglades. Like, it's a miracle that an alligator did not eat her.
It's amazing. No, but we don't know what did happen to her.
It's crazy.
She was taken.
And then when she was found, she was, like,
dressed.
Fine.
Dressed,
yeah, like,
bathed,
dressed,
clothed,
fed,
fit.
no scratches, no bruises,
Well,
fine.
Maybe internal bruises.
Yeah. Yeah, because I guess this is one of the things that she says that Tina says to her is like, I don't know what happened. I'm paraphrasing. She was basically like, I don't know what happened to you in childhood, but clearly something did to like sort yourself out.
Yeah, because Tina's also a therapist as well. So Tina's like, listen,
I see something in your eyes, girl.
Yeah, wagwan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Pamela was like, I don't know.
She's like, no, I'm just fine. I just have OCD and I just manage things this way.
Pamela's mom, the Senorita Socialite of New York, just drops this on her. And she's like, oh, yeah, there's a reason why I've been really distant with you and why I act like you don't exist. It's because you disappeared for 4 days.
And I thought you died.
Yeah, and I thought you died. So I just came to terms with the fact that you died. And then you were back and I was scared of losing you. So then I just figured I'd be distant from you.
Cool. And then Jessica's like, anyway, back to the defendant. Everyone's like,
I think that is something that I would change. Either change the relationship or spend more time on it,
or remove that completely.
What?
Because I don't feel like that actually.
Yes, I guess by change relationship, I mean like, what was the point? What was like? I don't know that it added anything other than Pamela being able to like more closely identify with what was happening with the trial because something had happened to her and someone had taken her. Like, I just don't know that
I don't think that was necessary.
Friction with her mom was necessary.
Unless, happy to have friction with the mom because that is reflective of life. And, like, Ruth's relationship with her mum is very interesting. Fucking homophobe. But I think the 4-day thing was so left field and then just left.
Yeah, I do.
That I just thought, we'll have the friction or have the friction. I don't think that absolves the mum of being a fucking prick. Yeah. Anyway, what character or characters do you think are most like me?
Well, I feel like it has to be Pamela.
Yeah.
Because you said my Virgo sister. Yeah. I also disappeared for 4 days.
Yeah.
I did it willingly and I was in my bedroom.
I was like, I gotta
leave. Don't talk to me. Yeah, gotta go, bye. Yeah, I think Pamela has you energy.
Do you kind of like Frances? Yeah, I would imagine.
I feel like Frances wears like
Caftans.
Billowy trousers and like
she makes her own fucking hummus.
Yeah,
that's not me. Sorry, I changed my mind. I think
that.
You are Denise. Just fun.
Hot slut.
A girl about town. Ahead of her time. Outspoken. Calls out bullshit. But also it's like, golly, let's just relax. Let's have fun. Yeah. Because I feel like Denise she got her shit together. She still works hard. But she likes to relax. And she's also like, hey, Pamela, pull the fucking stick out of your asshole and let's just have a bed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to
died. That's unfortunate.
All right.
But I live on because Salvador Dali was
obsessed
with me. Yeah, as he should be. Where do you think the characters are now?
Well, we know Pamela's boss bitchin'.
Yeah.
She got that degree from Columbia. She probably got a postgrad as well. Set up her own firm. She and Tina are hanging.
I love that Tina is Pamela's daughter's godmother.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
But I didn't like the way that Jessica built it up in the alternate chapters, which I feel like is a trope that a lot of people fall into. It's like, but only one person knew that I was still here or like knew how to reach me. Turns out they're pals.
Yeah.
Like, shut up. Like, I hope Carl is dead. Because he got his dementia.
Speaking of Carl, when he just like completely loses it.
Yeah, well, he's got dementia.
And he attacks her, and the nurse is like, yeah, I thought that might happen. Like, what? She's like, I really should take you to the hospital. You probably have a concussion, and he might have broken a ligament in your neck.
Oh, yeah, no, I should have given him his meds earlier. Sorry about that.
Actually, he attacked me a couple of days ago, so really should have saw this.
Sister in arms. Yeah. Shared experience. I hope Rebecca got a divorce and
she's being a
she
big
went
old
to
lesbian.
she went to the gay bar and the lesbians were like, no bitch, no, we can smell the homophobia on you, fuck off.
The level of self-hate there is really sad.
I don't care, to be honest, because
I mean, she like was not nice.
No.
And even I although I do wonder how much of it, and this is probably me giving everybody too much credit.
Don't worry, I'll take it back.
I wonder how much of it might have been because of, like, the ways in which she was so mean and rude and horrible to Ruth was because of her self-hatred.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And, like, her frustration that she couldn't be her authentic self and live her, like, the truest version of herself and be a big lesbian in Washington. And Ruth did it.
Yeah, to be fair, though, Ruth didn't do it with ease.
Yeah, that's true.
And I kind of want to be like...
She's like, I'm taking it back now.
Well, I feel like with Rebecca, sounds like a you problem, girl.
Also, their son sounds like a horrible little troll.
Yeah, at the same time, though, kids are assholes, which I do kind of love because she's just like, kids are dicks.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're ugly. And I'm like...
Oh, okay.
But you know what? I kind of love that.
But then he was like, you're ugly and everybody hates you.
Yeah. But I love that.
It's like, I don't hate you because you're ugly. You're ugly because I hate you. Yeah. I love that she was like, I'm going to make you an onion and, like, mayonnaise sandwich. You fuck. Like, have fun. She's like, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever had.
Yeah, but she's also like, oh, I don't care that you're just a kid. You're an asshole.
You're a little dick. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, is there anything in the book that surprised you? I don't know why I was like, surprised you.
I think the thing that surprised me was the bit about how soil changes.
Yeah, education. David Attenborough, is it right?
It is right. I
Did
Googled
you get
it afterwards because I was like, this is crazy. How is it possible that more people aren't doing this? But I think it's because... Oh, we should probably explain.
Maybe your bird is doing this.
No. Do not speak that over my life that there's somebody buried underneath my deck. Absolutely not. So, one of the characters in the book, I think is a forensic scientist.
Oh, I can't remember the name, though.
Anyway, she talks about how soil... Changes. The pH level and, like, the chemical composition changes if a body has been buried there because of the chemicals and, like, I guess enzymes and hormones that your body releases as it's decomposing. It changes the way that the soil interacts. So if there are soils interact with plants that are growing there. So something that Tina and Pamela do at the very end of the book, which I really, really loved, was they went to a location where they believed that Ruth's body may have been buried. And this is like in the 2010s, so 30 years at least had gone by at this point.
And you were like,
yeah, it was like
math.
Literally like the meme of that lady being like, oh, da, da, da. They go and they plant a bunch of...
Now back to science with Tati.
Back to science with Tati. Everyone put your lab coats on. This is for one time. This is never going to come up again. They planted like a bunch of ferns and a bunch of green leafy plants with the intention to come back. I think it was like 6 or 9 months later, and because at that point, basically the leaves change color from green to red. Mm-hmm. Oh, and there was this really... great quote at the end that says, things grow differently when they're damaged, showing us how to occupy strange new ground, to bloom red instead of green. We can be found brighter than before. I absolutely love that. So the part that surprised me was that new fact. That was just a really fun thing to learn. And ending with that quote just like wrapped it all up with a bow really nicely. Aww. Yeah. What about you?
That there was a female attorney defending the defendant.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Is she real?
Haven't checked.
Okay. Well, let's hope that's fiction.
But then it probably would have worked really in his favour. We're going to look. No, it's true.
Really?
Her name is Polly Jean Nelson. An American attorney and author, she is best known as a member of serial killer The Defendant's Last Defense Team from 1986 until his execution in January 1989. She joined the law firm Wilmer Cutler and Pickering as a junior associate. A few months later, she accepted a pro bono assignment from the Florida office of the capital collateral representatives to assist in efforts to stay the defendant's imminent execution on multiple murder convictions. Although she had no previous first-hand experience in criminal law or the appeals process, lol, neither did he, she and co-counsel James Earl Coleman Jr. were able to secure 3 stays before Bundy was finally executed on January 24th, 1989. Rest in distress. Yeah. Oh, she was fired by Wilmer Cutler a few months after his execution. His defense had cost the firm, it claimed, in excess of $1.5 million. Yeah, so that surprised me. But then also it doesn't, but it did. It did surprise me. Yeah. Anyway. So now that we haven't done a catch up.
What's going on?
Yeah.
How you been?
Not sick like you. You have been not well, bitch, but I have been okay. In my swimming girl era. I play mermaids 3 times a week now. Yeah. Hate chlorine.
Yeah.
It's fucking rank. I cannot tell you how much I hate chlorine. But went swimming today, doing all of that. It's great for my back. I'm loving it. Blah, blah, blah. What else is happening? Work is busy. Book club is thriving.
Yeah?
Yeah, we are...
I missed this month's book club because I had the plague.
You did. And you missed out on bottomless food.
Bottomless food?
Yeah, girly. It was bottomless food and drink.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we had 3 courses.
Like, meanwhile, I was sitting in my garden with, like, a duvet on, trying to get some sun.
Probably I fucking that bird.
We can talk about the bird. It's springtime. The bird's back.
The bird is back.
That's my one update for our catch-up.
Okay, go.
Well, I have 2 updates. One, I had the flu.
Yes.
And then I went to Paris, and I had the flu there.
Why did you go to Paris? Give the man his flowers.
So Alex just ran his first marathon.
Yeah, he did.
And
For why, we don't know, but...
For why was I there, we also don't know, considering I was literally dying. I'm just, like, a really good person, you know? I'm, like, really supportive, like, really considerate.
Yeah, committed
and,
to
like,
your marriage.
Yeah, like, I am the best.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was in Paris. I had the flu, and it's springtime, so the bird feeder is back up, and that means that Senorita Blue Tit is also back.
Blue prick.
It is finally time to talk about my bird beef.
Your bird beef lock.
I feel like this should be a separate segment.
This is tea time with tea.
This is tea time with tea. Let me strap in.
Into your wheelchair.
So we have a garden, and our garden is beautiful. It is an oasis. I really, really love it. We're very lucky to have as big of a garden and as nice of a garden as we have living in central London. So we love it. As part of that garden, we've got this beautiful hydrangea bush where robins live, occasionally magpies, all of Noah's Ark's creatures. Like, there's foxes, squirrels, the whole thing. Including a little family of blue tits, and they're gorgeous birds. They're so, so beautiful. And because we enjoy in our old age watching these birds from our window, we've hung a bird feeder by one of the windows. The problem is, though, like, there's one blue tit in particular who's super picky.
Yeah.
Without any reason, justification, rationale, moral compass as to why why it's so picky, and it makes me so freaking annoyed. So, for those who don't know, when you buy a bag of bird feed, I can, like, feel myself getting incensed already.
I can tell you're starting to get heated.
When you buy a bag of bird feed, it's like a mixture of seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Because each seed is valuable and provides different nutrients, and you need a healthy, diverse, balanced diet. Unless you are this blue tit that only likes black seeds. And dear listener, let me tell you, the black seeds are the rarest frickin' seed in the bag. So this tit spends, like, hours. It feels like hours. It's probably 5 minutes, but it's hours of my time going up to the bird feeder and plucking out seeds and tossing them onto the decking and onto the ground until it finds a black seed. And because it needs multiple seeds, it does this for such a long time. And because it's by the window, I can just hear the sound of seeds falling everywhere.
That's money being lost.
It's so disrespectful, is the thing. Like, I am providing for you. Why are you fucking complaining?
Yeah. I have a suggestion. Why don't you, as a test, take out all of the black seeds and put them on a little side dish and see if she goes for them? I love that I've assumed it's a she. She knows what she wants. She knows what she wants it. She got it.
She's not going to get it.
She's going to get these fists. Is put them on the same, see if she goes for it. Or maybe she likes a treasure hunt.
So this is the thing, is I would do this because I do think it would be an interesting science experiment, but I can also picture myself doing this, and I know I look like a crazy person. Sitting there going through...
Yeah, but who's watching?
Alex!
But he knows
my dear husband. Yeah. The amount of times that, like, pigeons and seagulls and magpies will try to go to
I hate seagulls.
The bird feeder, I literally run outside with a Birkenstock in my hand and start yelling and, like, waving it around, trying to get them to leave.
But they could pick up all of the shit that she's thrown on the floor.
They do. Oh. It annoys me so much. But also, like, the area where the bird feeder is hanging, it's above it's above the decking, so there are gaps between the slats.
They fall through. That encourages rodents.
We have a bunch of random different types of grass just shooting up through the decking. Oh. It genuinely makes me so angry.
We're gonna have to have you be on Birdwatch and capture this criminal.
I have video.
Then you're gonna have to share it with the
I have multiple videos. Okay. Yeah. We'll put it on the Instagram.
And be like, wanted.
I'm gonna have to make this like a really aesthetically pleasing background, some graphics, so I don't seem like a crazy bird lady, but I am a crazy bird lady.
You are a crazy bird lady, but she's pushing you to the edge.
Yeah, like the fact that I run outside with a Birkenstock in my hand is like already...
Maybe it should just be natural selection, and if she's gonna continue pissing you off, maybe she should get eaten by a seagull.
But it's also like... blue tits are really pretty.
Yeah, true.
So I still enjoy, yeah.
She's pretty and picky.
It's pretty privilege.
It is pretty. Well, yeah, you're allowing it to happen.
Yeah.
I love that you hear all the tap tap.
Just... and while I'm working all day.
But it's her, I think it's because of the sass as well, where she's like, no. Yeah, she...
It's like, not for me. No. Not this one. Not this one either. Anyway, so those are the updates in my life.
Love that for you. And we look forward to hearing an update from her. Surely if it's a boy, girl, whoever, but they're a family, they're keep coming back. Oh, where are the babies?
I've always thought about this. I don't know. Because they're there every single year that we've lived there.
And actually feeding the kids. Oh, no, they won't.
No, because it's covered.
Oh. There'll be like people who know about animals being like, this dumb bitch, she's got no idea.
Like, obviously maybe it's in a nest.
It's like, no, you fucking
it's like, all right, Nat Geo, calm down. So yeah, someone's gonna slide into our DMs and be like,
I think you'll find.
Actually, there's a reason why she only eats the black seeds, and it's not because she's a bitch. Like, you're like, is it?
And then you're like, well, you sound like a bitch.
Yeah, it's like, I didn't ask David Attenborough, but thank you very much.
Oh my god, let's not, because oh my god, I'm not ready for the day Attenborough dies.
Yeah.
But it's coming. Good catch up.
Yeah. So you're swimming?
I'm swimming, loving it. I went into the medium lane the other day.
Okay.
And I was like,
she's getting faster.
I am getting faster.
Too fast, too furious.
Not furious. I do get furious though when people try and overtake me, which is such a faux pas. Every time something happens in the swimming pool, I'm like, I'm going to tell Tatty to tell Alex about this. Such poor decorum. Awful poor decorum there. Because you shouldn't, if you're doing like lane swimming, you shouldn't overtake because, well, one.
How on earth would you? Like, the lane surely isn't big enough to have 3 people. So how would you overtake someone if someone's coming? She was being really cheeky
and was trying to overtake me before somebody came down. But I'm not slow enough.
That's like trying to pass or like overtake a car on like a single track.
Yeah, no. And I'm not
seeing
slow
the
enough to like do that.
Yeah.
So she ended up stopping me from swimming. So I had to
that's
stop
not
mid
nice.
lane, and I got really kind of flustered because I could see somebody, because obviously your head's in the water as well. She did overtake me, but she wasn't that fast either.
Oh, so like, what's the point?
No, so I had to stop to let her
Sort herself out.
Yeah, it was really frustrating. Also,
was it worth it, Janet?
No,
was
she's an asshole, and all of us like in the lane didn't say anything to each other, but we were like, ugh.
This guy?
Yeah, just also very splashy, like lots of splashes. I was like, you're not even that good at fucking swim. Like you can't.
Like maybe you should be in the slow lane, loser.
Yeah, you can't play mermaids with us. Go away, human.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah, but love it regardless. But yeah, it's really good. And then been reading a couple of things. I'm going to Ireland to visit family, which I'm very excited about. Yeah. I don't care if it rains the whole time.
It'd be so nice.
I've decided to start learning Italian on Duolingo.
What?
Yeah.
That's exciting, but why?
You were like, huh?
Yeah. That's not on the list. What's going on?
No, it's not. Just because I really like the language. I really want to visit. I haven't visited before, and I want to do like a proper food tour. I've got some friends there, and they're having a baby. And yeah, I just want
so many babies.
But I wanted to just I'm just at the point that like I'm thinking of doing like proper lessons because I'm enjoying it. I don't know. I can order a coffee. With
Is it because you say like, can I have a cappuccino?
No.
I was like, what is the Americano? Like, what is that why you can order?
As well. No, you say un cafe. And then you say con latte, which means with milk.
It's very similar to Spanish.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll have to keep us updated.
Yeah. Well, currently we're still going over ordering a coffee. So yeah, that's my update.
It sounds like one of us has been thriving.
Thank you. I haven't.
Well, yeah, actually, no. We've both been struggling in different ways.
Yeah, I think I might pop a melatonin.
Yeah.
Thank you to you for being my drug mule.
Of legal drugs.
Yeah, so hopefully next time, no illness, and I will have confirmed I've slept.
So we've already told you what we're reading next.
Yes, which is 2 trailers.
We've told you a few times, and as we said at the beginning, and again now, this was supposed to be that.
Mm-hmm.
But we decided we needed to have brunch and several drinks before we talk about that one. Which, it jokes on us because these drinks have been so strong that we probably couldn't.
But also, we couldn't have done the other episode because you had no voice.
That's true, yeah.
And as much as I can wax lyrical, that's not fun for everybody.
So yeah, the one nostril is congested again, so it's calling times. So I'm curious. Instead of us talking about what we're going to read next,
because
you already know, what are you reading right now for fun?
For funsies, which is delightful, I'm reading, it's very popular at the moment, a book called Green Dot, which I have just here, because I was reading it earlier.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a sexy hardback. It's by...
I love the cover.
Yeah, and look.
Oh, hello. A relevant man.
Well,
who's probably not so irrelevant.
Also married.
Oh.
No. Yeah. It's like Fleabag.
Mind your business. Go home.
Yep.
Go to your family. What are you doing? Why are you in the coffee shop?
No, it's at work.
No.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
So it's kind of like Fleabag meets office drama, because
like
it's
The Office or a office workplace.
Just an office.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very, very funny. She's very sardonic. I have a quote. Because at first I was like, oh, this book is hard work. I'm not sure if it's really for me. Because, sometimes you're reading a book and you're like, oh, you're trying so hard to basically be Fleabag, or you're trying to be of that ilk.
It doesn't work.
And I was like, I don't like it. And then it was this quote as I was reading that made me go, okay, she's funny. So it said, Oh my God. Mei Ling is funny. Mei Ling is funny and depressed. My two favorite things in a potential friend. And then she said, Mei Ling, you saucy devil, you sly dog, you also hate this. And then she said, I now have an ally on my side of the desk. And this is the quote. This must be how Brutus felt when he first realised Cassius also had a boner for killing Caesar. Don't quote me, but I know that how it went. And I was like, okay.
Like, I'm in. I'm good.
Yeah, so it's good fun so far. And it's nice
good.
and easy, so I'm going to take it on my flight. I'm also going to take the next book club book, which is Chain Gang All-Stars, which is that what you're reading at the moment?
It's one of the books I'm reading.
What else are you reading?
So I am also reading The Dictionary People.
I thought you were going to just say the dictionary. I was like, stop.
The Oxford English Dictionary.
I'm really not like other girls.
Although it's kind of funny because last year I read a book called The Dictionary of Lost Words, which is a fiction novel, but they're basically based off of the same thing, which is the creation and development of the Oxford English Dictionary. And like the process by which the dictionary was created and all of the people who were involved. So in the Dictionary of Lost Words, the fiction novel, it's all about how these fictional characters, and it also includes the names and like characters of people who were real and who were part of the development of the dictionary, but it talks essentially about how there were decisions made around what types of words would or should be part of the dictionary. And it was words that came from highbrow literature and like were very recognized with like upper crusts of society, whereas the people's language and like the language of like market halls and the language that women used were not considered relevant enough or like important enough to be part of the dictionary, so they weren't included. And the character in the Dictionary of Lost Words, she essentially starts her own dictionary called the Dictionary of Lost Words, where she starts to document all of these words that were deemed not important enough, not relevant enough, and she writes out how people use them and what their significance is. So that's that book, and that was really interesting to read. Now I'm reading this nonfiction book called The Dictionary People, and it's actually one of the long-listed nonfiction books on the Women's Prize for nonfiction. And this centers on the real, like, historical view of who was involved in the creation of the dictionary, and it's all based off of this lexicographer
What's a sexy word?
I know.
Say that one more time.
Lexicographer.
Ooh.
Isn't that so good?
I feel like
Word
Shanzi
lady.
in The Lion King. Where is it? Say it again. Mufasa. She's like, ooh, say it again. Mufasa!
Yeah. Word person.
I am
There we go. So
a
yeah,
lexicographer.
this lexicographer and her team of university graduate students basically did a ton of research and dove into like family trees and obituaries and like birth announcements, marriage announcement, all of these sorts of things to try and paint pictures of who was involved in the creation of the dictionary and talk about like who these people were. Anyway, thanks for joining us today.
It's been fun. And if we don't see you in the bookshop or the library,
we'll see you at brunch.
Hey, bye.
Bye. So we've already told you what we're reading next.
Yes, which is 2 trailers.
We've told you a few times. And as we said at the beginning, and again now, this was supposed to be that. But we decided we needed to have brunch and several drinks before we talk about that one. Which, it jokes on us because these drinks have been so strong that we probably couldn't.
But also, we couldn't have done the other episode because you had no voice.
That's true, yeah.
And as much as I can wax lyrical, that's not fun for everybody.
Yeah. So yeah, the one nostril is congested again, so it's calling times. So I'm curious. Instead of us talking about what we're going to read next.
Because you know.
Because you already know. What are you reading right now for fun?
For funsies, which is delightful, I'm reading, it's very popular at the moment, a book called Green Dot, which I have just here, because I was reading it earlier.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a sexy hardback. It's by...
I love the cover.
Yeah, and look.
Oh, hello. A relevant man.
Well,
Who's probably not so irrelevant.
Not so irrelevant.
So,
also married.
oh.
No. Yeah. It's like Fleabag.
Mind your business. Go home.
Yep.
Go to your family. What are you doing? Why are you in the coffee shop?
No, it's at work.
No!
Yeah.
No. Okay.
So it's kind of like Fleabag meets office drama, because
Like
it's
the office or a office, workplace?
just an office.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very, very funny. She's
Okay.
very sardonic. I have a quote. Because at first I was like, oh, this book is hard work. I'm not sure if it's really for me. Because, you know, sometimes you're reading a book and you're like, oh, you're trying so hard to basically be Fleabag, or you're trying to be of that ilk.
It doesn't work.
And I was like, I don't like it. And then it was this quote as I was reading that made me go, okay, she's funny. So it said, oh my God, Mei Ling is funny. Mei Ling is funny and depressed. My two favorite things in a potential friend. And then she said, Mei Ling, you saucy devil, you sly dog, you also hate this. And then she said, I now have an ally on my side of the desk. And this is the quote. This must be how Brutus felt when he first realized Cassius also had a boner for killing Caesar. Don't quote me, but I know that how it went. And I was like, okay.
Like, I'm in. I'm good.
Yeah, so it's good fun so far. And it's nice
good.
and easy, so I'm going to take it on my flight. I'm also going to take the next book club book, which is Chain Gang All-Stars, which is that what you're reading at the moment?
It's one of the books I'm
Oh,
reading.
what else are you reading?
So I am also reading The Dictionary People. And it's actually one of the long-listed nonfiction books on the Women's Prize for nonfiction. And this centers on the real, like, historical view of who was involved in the creation of the dictionary. And it's all based off of this lexicographer who
What a sexy word.
I know.
Say that one more time.
Lexicographer.
Ooh.
Isn't that so good?
I feel like
Word
Shanzi
lady.
in The Lion King. Where it say it again. Mufasa. She's like, ooh, say it again. Mufasa.
Yeah. Word person.
I am
There we go. So
a
yeah,
lexicographer.
this lexicographer and her team of university graduate students basically did a ton of research and dove into like family trees and obituaries and like birth announcements, marriage announcement, all of these sorts of things to try and paint pictures of who was involved in the creation of the dictionary and talk about like who these people were. It's really
How
really
did you
good.
find that?
So my office had an event
Oh, fun.
where we were able to access some of the books that are on the long list for the Women's Prize. And this was one of the books. There were 4 or 5 options there. And this was the first one that I picked up.
How exciting.
Yeah, I just love the dictionary.
Okay.
I'm a lexicographer. That one didn't sound as nice as my other
No.
pronunciations.
No, it was very
Lexicographer.
much better. Yeah, the other one was very much like, you know how
It's
to bowl, I know
Taylor
Aristotle.
singing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Taylor singing karaoke. Anyway,
Oh,
thanks for joining us today.
it's been fun. And if we don't see you in the bookshop or the library,
We'll see you at brunch.
hey, bye.
I think it's in the last one. I have no idea. And one of the ones where they have a basketball game, and it's like a really important basketball game. So it could literally be one of the
any.
3. And Troy does not have his head in the game. And he like looks at the bleachers and he's scanning the crowd trying to find Vanessa Hudgens.
And she does this.
Oh, no, she, like, yeah, and she stands up, and, like, everyone is covered by, like, white paper, and it's her in a red red dress. And when she stands up, she goes, try, and it's so awful. It's so bad. And I think about it all the time.
Do you know what's going to be?
All the time. That not only was that scripted, but she was directed to do it. And everybody on set was like, yeah.
Nailed it.